Welcome back to it. If you're listening, happening out there on the internet, it might have been an awkward pause, but if not, you're on YouTube and this is the next part. So the next movie in our February movie club here with Fanboys Anonymous is The Hateful Eight. The Hateful Eight is a 2015 American Western mystery film written and directed by the man Quentin Tarantino. It stars Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Walter Goggins, Demián Burke, Tim Roth, of course, Michael Madsen, of course, and Bruce Dern, as 8 strangers who seek refuge from a blizzard in a stagecoach stopover sometime after the American Civil War. Whew, that was a mouthful. The movie was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Best Original Score, and Best Cinematography for the upcoming ceremony of the Academy Awards. Tony, start with you, buddy. What was your initial thoughts on The Hateful Eight?
Well, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction are 2 of my favorite movies of all time. And since then, Tarantino hasn't been as good. At least from my opinion. Kill Bill's alright. Inglourious Bastards, I don't like as much as everybody else does. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but...
I fell asleep during that.
Yeah, I don't get it as much. I don't know. And Django was fine. So it's sort of like... Hateful Eight didn't grab my attention, and I figured I was going to see it no matter what. But watching this movie, it kind of made me feel a little bit more like Reservoir Dogs, so I liked it more like that, although it's kind of the mixture between what I like about Reservoir Dogs and what I dislike about his most recent movies. Like, I don't like the Western genre, and I don't like this, like, hyper-stylized, this is a reference to something that used to be in the past, because... I don't care about the past. So the idea of like getting any kind of upgrade because it's a reference to something, it's lost on me. So I would have rather preferred this movie to be even more like Dogs, but the parts that were like that, I liked quite a bit.
Caroline, what were your initial thoughts on The Hateful Eight?
I did not like this movie. I felt that I was stuck in this like Western mystery dinner, one of those things kind of like Clue, but bad. Oh, that's gonna be sorry, I'm being really mean, but
That's fun.
I really didn't like it. I was bored. I was like fighting not to fall asleep. And I like Quentin Tarantino a lot. Like, I think that his aesthetics and storytelling are normally very refreshing, but this one just felt old in a bad way.
Now, I've gone through the casting of the 8 main characters that are called the Bounty Hunter, the Hangman, the Prisoner, the Sheriff, the Mexican, the Little Man, the Cowpuncher, and the Confederate. But some of the supporting characters, as I'm looking this on our Wikipedia source, Channing Tatum is Jody Domergue. James Parks as Obie Jackson, Dana Gurrier, that's French, I'm not going to make it, as Minnie Mink, Zobel as Six Horse Judy, Lee Horsley as Ed, Gene Jones as Sweet Dave, Keith Jefferson as Charity, Craig Stark as Chester Charles Smithers, Belinda Owena as Gemma, and Quentin Tarantino as the narrator, and uncredited.
Oh, it was Tarantino?
Yes.
Huh.
Caroline, we'll start with you. How did you feel about the cast?
I mean, those actors are amazing. I don't want to butcher her name, but Daisy.
Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Yes. I was going to change the 2 last names. I was going to change the order of them. So I'm just going to call her Daisy. She was really amazing. I can definitely see why she was nominated for supporting actress, even when she was being showered with blood and brain matter. I liked her. The guys too, but like, there's no surprise to me because those people are amazing actors. Like Samuel L. Jackson, like, come on, like I will probably watch anything he's in. He's just the man. No surprise, they were good.
Nice. Tony, what were your thoughts on the casting for the movie?
I don't want Jennifer Jason Leigh to win.
Well, I don't either, but I get why she's.
Yeah, I could see that. She was fine in the movie, though. I mean, I don't want people to think that I think she was, like, utter bullshit or anything. She did her part perfectly fine. Best out of all of them, it has to be either Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, at the very least, his character was the one that I liked the best. But maybe my biggest surprise was Walton Goggins. He surprised me quite a bit. He was really great in this. And Bruce Dern was like, he sat in a chair the whole time. It wasn't that real hard. I gotta say, though, one person that threw me off, Tim Roth. He just did an impression of Christoph Waltz.
Oh.
It sounded like he was trying to do his voice 100%.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
And that was weird, because it was like, well, did he write the part for Christoph Waltz, and he couldn't get him because he was too busy with, like, Spectre or something like that? And it was just like, hey, Tim, can you, like, pretend to be Christoph for this movie? Because I really would have rather had him instead of you, but come on, buddy. So they were all great, though, in their own way. Some of them could have been replaced here and there. Like, I don't think if they would have replaced Channing Tatum's character with a different actor, it would have made that much of a difference. But hearing him in that French accent, really digging the idea that he's going to be Gambit.
This was his practice.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of controversy when it came to this film. Well, not so much the film, but more so with the director. In October 2015, Tarantino attended a Black Lives Matter rally and publicly commented on police brutality in the United States, saying, quote, "When I see murderers, I do not stand by. I have to call a murderer a murderer, and I have to call the murderers murderers." Tarantino's comments received national media attention, and several police groups in the United States pledged to boycott the Hateful Eight and other films. Tarantino said he's not a cop hater, but would not be intimidated by the calls for boycotts. Another issue that came up with this movie, it was supposed to have its debut in LA, I think at the Chinese Theater, and it got bumped by Star Wars. Do you think these two things had an impact on the film's release and hitting audiences?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You can't open up around Star Wars and expect not to get crushed.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a whole big thing with the 70mm. Like, he was trying to market that as a big special. Nobody cares. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the audience is going to go, well, I want to see Star Wars in IMAX. And then you go, oh, I've got this old-looking film in 70mm. You guys want to go see that? It's 3 hours long, and it's mostly talking. Most people are going to go, that sounds boring as shit. And somebody
Unless
like me...
you're in Brooklyn, New York, then
That's
that
true.
shit's gold.
Yeah. If you go to, like, a hipster area, then it's
Yeah.
just gonna... Then people are making more of a mess of the theater than if they would have seen 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, God.
Got a hole in the popcorn, people.
Visuals!
But the controversy, it kind of helps, and it kind of hurts it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that gets people talking about it, but then again, when you're around Star Wars, that just gets swallowed up by the media. Like,
yeah.
And it's some kind of negative connotations. Like, the positive word works a lot better, but when you start getting criticized for saying the N-word as much as you do in this movie, you're starting to alienate yourself a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Caroline, any other additional thoughts to this?
Well, I also wanted to add that this movie almost didn't get made at all because the script was...
Did we lose her?
Yeah.
You back? Hello?
Oh, yes, sorry. Problems with my mic.
I think we lost her again. Well, she was going to say it's a great movie, and you should totally go see it.
Until Caroline...
Okay, hello, sorry, I'm back.
Okay.
I think. Oh my god, I don't know. Okay.
Caroline's sentence almost didn't get made.
Okay, yes, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it almost didn't get made. The plan was that because he was like, oh, everybody already knows the story, I'm not gonna make this movie. He was gonna, and I don't even know if he ended up doing that, but he released it in like a book form, for people to read. And then I think that there wasn't enough heat around that, so the movie got made. And I feel like, at least with some of my hipster friends, that's really why they wanted to watch the movie. It was like, oh, this movie almost didn't get made. It's going to be fantastic. And it's 70mm. And oh my God, it's Tarantino. I think that when you start to fall into this category that you have to bad on controversy and trying to create something out of your movie that it's almost like, don't you believe in your movie? Don't you believe in your craft that it can stand alone? So I think that's just a cheap plan, really.
I'm curious if the hipsters would have been like, "Oh, the book was so much better."
Oh, I know. I didn't
like,
even
well, it
ask
wasn't
him
written
that.
as a book.
I don't know if it got released or not, but I remember reading that he was going to do that. I don't know if he ended up doing that, but probably, yeah.
So just to give you guys a couple of facts out there real quick about the film. The music was by Ennio Morricone.
I don't know if it's Ennio Morricone or Morricone. I think I've heard both.
I've killed my father. He was nominated for Best Original Score. The cinematography was by Robert Richardson, who was also nominated for Best Cinematography. It was edited by Fred Raskin. The production company was Double Feature Films and Film Comedy, and it was distributed by the Weinstein Company. The release dates were December 8th, 2015, and the Cinerama Dome premiere, and then released on Christmas nationwide in the United States. The runtime for the road show was 187 minutes. The general version was 167. The country of origin is the United States with the language of English. With a budget of $44 million, it box office hit $145.4 million. For the critical response, when we look at our Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 75% based on 242 reviews, with an average rating of 7.4 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads, "The Hateful Eight offers another well-aimed round from Quentin Tarantino's signature blend of action, humor, and over-the-top violence, all while demonstrating an even stronger grip on his filmmaking craft." What we're going to do, we're going to wrap up this film, but of course, naturally, we got to go the high point, low point, and rating 1 to 10. Tony, we'll start with you.
Low point, actually, probably the music.
I agree. Thank you.
I don't know why this is nominated for Best Original Score. I thought it was terrible. Horribly annoying. And it got stuck in my head, too, which really pissed me off, because I didn't want it to get stuck in my head. So...
Unlike the Revenant's music, right?
Yeah, well, that's just... Revenant. I don't remember how the Hateful Eight's music goes, but I'm thankful that I forgot about it. My favorite part of the movie? I don't know. I mean, I can't really pinpoint a specific part that I liked the best, because I was a little disappointed in different sections. But maybe it's just the fact that I don't really like stew, and it looked so good, like that I actually spent like the whole rest of the day just going, I wonder if I should just eat soup for dinner today. So that's stew. That gets a thumbs up for me for sure. And movie-wise, 0 to 10, I probably would give it a 6. There's parts that are interesting, and then there's parts that are weird. Like, it just gets too slow, and it turns into Clue suddenly in Chapter 4. And that's kind of cool, but it's kind of weird, too. And what's with the slow-motion dialogue? Just weird choices. And I think if Tarantino would have had a different mindset, it would have been a better movie.
Caroline, what were your high points, low points, and rating 1 to 10?
I agree with Tony that the worst part of this movie was definitely the music. I didn't get it. Like, I get it. It's like Tarantino's style. He tries to go, like, even with Django, it was like, oh, this movie's set in the past, but let's put, like, some modern twist to the music. That doesn't always work. And the music was just goddamn awful. Like, there was nothing good about it. High points, I guess there was some, like, nice gore to it. I wasn't mad at the gore. Even though I don't think it was, like, really the best I've seen. But, you know, like, I enjoyed when Channing Tatum's head got blown off. Like, that was cute. But...
I don't think most people would describe that as cute, but, you know.
Well, I'm not most people. I'm really special. Yeah. And I'm gonna give it a 4.
A 4?
Yeah, and I'm being nice about it. I really didn't like this movie, guys.
Well, there you have it. The Hateful Eight in the books as we get ready to roll on to our next film here on the Movie Club for February, Oscar Films. The next film is Mad Max. If you're listening live, deal with this awkward pause because it makes editing so much better. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the next video because, hey, that's what you're supposed to do. And stay tuned for part 3 of this month's movie club.